Hey guys, sorry we missed you. Let's go ahead and go through everything so you don't miss a thing. All right, big work day today. Let's walk through what you need. Now, last class you chose a reading goal, right? We went through in Schoology, our yellow reading playlist folder, our yellow October reading playlist folder, and you clicked on the reading goal check. You know, this thing right here. Let's work on that a bit. I've got a whole bunch of ideas to help you start. Now, each and every one of these are linked to so many different ways that you could possibly find good books that I'm super strongly going to recommend that you go open up this slide and click through the different links for your possible goal that you chose. Really, pause the video, open up this slide, and go ahead and click some of the links. Good. On to our next thing. Your reading journal revision is due by the end of today, so let's make sure you guys know. When you go into Schoology, you're going to see your assignment. There's a little yellow thing that says, click here to make a copy of this revision checklist. Please, for the love of all that's good, click on that, and you should end up with a green checklist that looks like this. Remember, this checklist is designed so that if you do every single step, you should get an A on this, so please use the checklist. I do want to point something out today that I think will be kind of helpful. Remember, you do want to go ahead and highlight your thought prompts in one color and highlight your textual evidence in another color. And if you're wondering what that's going to end up looking like, you can take a look at my example. You can see all my thought prompts I highlighted in yellow because I chose yellow, and any textual evidence I had, I highlighted in pink. But that's not all. You'll notice to get an A, the fourth box will ask you to go ahead and talk about the author. Address your ideas about why the author might have made some decisions while writing. So you should be saying those two words, the author, a bit. In fact, if you look at mine, I actually talked about the author 6 different times because I really wanted to focus on authorial decisions. But wait, there's more. You also, if you want the A+, we want you to focus some of your thought prompts to consider different interpretations, multiple interpretations, different possibilities for author's purposes. So you can see I've actually done that in 2 different places. In one place I said, on the other hand, looking at another theory of the same idea. And I also have, I wonder if something else is going on though. Maybe. In both situations, I'm trying to take a look at one idea I had and then all of a sudden turn it on its side and look at it from a different angle. That's it. Use your checklist, revise, go over 300 words, highlight thought prompts in one color, textual evidence in another, and you're done. On to the next thing. Now remember, this is our formal writing number 1 progression so far, right? We have our writing long, then we move into our boxes and bullets. After our boxes and bullets is our draft, and after our draft is our final. We've already done our writing long, and at this point your boxes and bullets should be finished, which means that at this step, we are moving on to the draft. So how do we do this? Remember, a boxes and bullets plan represents your ideas and your evidence. Your claim is your idea, like one way the Alexei develops the theme of deception is through the moment when the judge tells Marie that her friends and family died. That's my claim. That's going to be the very first sentence of this paragraph. The evidence comes directly from the text, and oftentimes your goal is actually to try to make sure it's a quote, like this quote. But my friends, my voice coaches, my mother, they all say I'm great. They lied. So now you have to turn your plan into a paragraph. Let's do that. Step 1 is to copy and paste your claim directly from your boxes and bullets. So go right into your boxes and bullets, scroll to your first claim paragraph, and go ahead and take this, copy it over, paste. One way Alexei develops the theme of deception is through the moment when the judge tells Marie that everyone lied to her about her being a good singer. Step 2. Add a transition to introduce your evidence, and then add your evidence from your boxes and bullets. So if this is that first sentence I already have, I'm going to go over, copy the quote for my evidence, and then I want to make sure that I add a little bit of a transition. I can't just randomly place in evidence from my story without telling the reader what's going on. I can't just drop in a quote. That would be like really awkwardly cutting between cuts without telling you I was going to. Right? So to make this smooth, I'm going to use the transition in the text, comma, and I'm going to say who's talking. So in the text, Marie says, but my friends, my voice coaches, my mother, they all say I'm great. And the judge responds, They lied. Now comes the important part, explaining how the evidence supports your theme. The first part of that is the means. What does your evidence mean? So step 3 is explain what your evidence means by retelling. So if I already had my first part, all the way up to my quote, I'm going to want to try and use a sentence starter. A transition, like in other words, is a really good one to consider. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of angle my evidence toward my theme and watch how I kind of bring my theme. And oh, by the way, if you're writing your paragraph about a symbol, this would be the part where you explain what the symbol means. Get it? It's the means part. Explain what the symbol means. Okay, let's do the next part. If this is what I already have, I'll use that sentence starter that says, in other words, the singer's loved ones have always loved her, have always lied to her that she's great, perhaps to make her feel better, when in actuality, she's not a good singer at all. Your next steps is crucial. It's your relates. You started with what your evidence means. Now we're talking about how it relates back to your theme. So if we take a look here, if we want to make sure that we use maybe a transition like, this develops the theme of blank because, and by going ahead and saying that theme again, where that blank is, you're going to remind your reader of what the theme is, which is key. So if I already had all of this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use that sentence starter. This develops the theme of deception because that's my theme, and I said that word here. This develops the theme of deception because the singer's family has deceived her, tricked her into thinking that she was always a better singer than she actually is. Step 5 is your matters. This is the matters. First we had means, then we have relates, now we have matters. And matters is absolutely vital to make sure we understand, well, why this evidence matters, right? This is basically the statement of theme. What can we learn about life here? So you might want to use a transition like, this moment demonstrates that, comma, in life, ... So watch me. If this is everything I already have, I'll use that transition and use my statement of theme here. This moment demonstrates that, in life, deception isn't always malicious. Sometimes we deceive the ones we love to protect them. And that's great and all, if you're doing a paragraph about theme in a moment, but what if you're doing theme in a symbol? Let me actually walk you through that, right? Step 1 is the same, copy and paste your claim box from your boxes and bullets. So maybe my first sentence would be, another way Alexi develops the theme of deception is through the symbol of the green room. Step 2, I need to add a transition to introduce my evidence and then add my evidence from my boxes and bullets. So I'll use that transition of in the text, right? I'll say in the text, comma, after she learns the truth about her mother's lies, comma, Marie returns to the green room and cries in her arms. Which brings me into step 3. This is my means step, right? So I have to explain what the evidence means. So in this case, I'm going to say, a green room is where actors go to relax and be their authentic selves when they aren't on stage. Now, let me go ahead and move into my relates. How does this tie back into my theme? I'm going to want to make sure I'm saying my theme of deception here. Because of this, the green room should represent honesty and authenticity. In this case, it instead stands for deception. See, I mentioned the theme there. The well-meaning deception of those who love us. And last but not least, step 5, which is where I explain why this all matters. I want to put in a statement of theme and maybe to tell us like, in this moment in life. So I say this helps us to understand that in life, those who love us may try to deceive us for our own good. Same steps, just applied to a symbol. Now, if any of that was fast, remember, you can't pause me during class, although some of you wish you could. You can absolutely pause me now. You can even rewind. So if you want to go back and watch either of those, you might need to go ahead and do that. In fact, I'll even give you a second to do that right now. Now, how do you take all this and turn it into paragraphs? Well, let me actually show you. You've got 2 ways you can do this. The first option is if you're going, you know what, dude, I got this. I don't need a graphic organizer. Your explanation made sense. I understand the lesson. I can apply this. Which in that case, when you go into Schoology and you open up the flash draft assignment, you're going to draft your paragraphs right in that first provided space. You might want to scroll down a little bit and just kind of like look at the graphic organizer as kind of a spot check to make sure you have all the parts of the commentary. But if you don't want to actually fill out the graphic organizer, you don't have to. Now, on the other hand, if you're going, well, you know what, Mr. K, I think I'd rather go ahead and use the graphic organizer, then open up the flash draft assignment in Schoology, scroll past the drafting space, and actually use that graphic organizer to go ahead and draft your paragraphs. And make sure the whole time you're writing complete sentences so that later on you can copy paste this over. Let me show you what I mean. So in Schoology, click on your green FW number 1 folder, scroll down and open up your draft. Click on My Document to see your work, and you should see this screen here. So, if you understand this and you feel like you don't need a graphic organizer, you can just draft. Start right here. Add your thesis and draft your 2 boxes in this section. Don't forget, you don't have to ignore those graphic organizers beneath you. You can always scroll down just to make sure that you've got every part that you need. You've got the means, you've got the relates, and you've got the matters in each part of your paragraph. Now, if you'd rather go ahead and use the graphic organizer, well then, simple. In your draft, scroll down to your graphic organizer, answer your thesis, and answer in every yellow box. Remember, if you're using the graphic organizer, write in complete, thoughtful sentences. So when you copy this into a paragraph, your work was done. Incomplete sentences will make your life a pain later. So that's it. Finish your flash draft, turn that in, finish and submit your reading journal revision major summative for a 100-point test grade, and any late work you have, go ahead and work on that. And if you're ready to start working on your reading goal, make sure that you get a book for that. And that is it. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and shoot me an email. Otherwise, you got this. Good luck.